It is May the 5th at 7:30 a.m. and I'm shooting this from inside my converted evangelical church, which was built in 1903. It has been my home for nearly 8 years, and in that time, as some of you are becoming aware, I have campaigned every day to bring awareness to the abandonment and abuse of former religious structures in America. Now, at the same time, I'm a political activist. No, I'm not Democrat, and no, I'm not Republican. I suppose I'm independent. But the point that I'm trying to make is you are becoming aware that hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars are being dumped into the news, mainstream media, social media, by conservative oligarchs trying to make this a war about faith. It has nothing to do with faith. It has nothing to do with religion. Most of these people are just pawns, and they're happily that way because most of them are just racist and bigoted, and they don't care that Donald Trump is a convicted rapist or a criminal or a fraud because he shares their same values. Being a fucking pig. Period. These people do not represent America. They do not represent Christianity. I'm not even religious, but yet for the last 8 years, I have tried to save 2 architecturally significant former religious structures. And in that time, I might add, I have noted that so many of these former churches have been purchased and are now being reused and given modern adaptive reuses, either homes or businesses. And that's a great thing, because a lot of these buildings are really beautiful. And it's not the building's fault that the flocks move on, or they prefer to sit on their sofa and donate billions of dollars to televangelists that make $100 million a year, or donate money to super PACs for a rapist who signs Bibles. Now, in that time, I have run campaign after campaign on crowdfunders, even on the #1 Christian crowdfunder, who has raised over $1 billion for seditionists, murderers, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, and even 10 million for a trucker convoy. Now, many of these Build the Wall, Stop the Steal were all fraudulent, and these people got done. Many of them, like the Trump allies, are still walking around because they got pardoned. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if on a #1 Christian crowdfunder, over the last 500 days, I've raised $10 to fix a church roof, when they spend over $1 billion on seditionists, what does that really tell you? It's not about faith. It's about fascism. Now, some of these people are coddling the idea of a dictatorship, but they really don't understand what a dictatorship actually is. You know, they think Putin's some kind of hero, when in reality, he's always been a dictator, a murdering, poisoning dictator that will imprison or kill anyone that gets in his way. He is not the rightful president of Russia. He's just another dictator like all the rest of them. And you guys are warming to the idea of that? You're fucked in the head. You really are. Now, I've just posted an article that by John Pavlovitz, who I really enjoy his articles. He's a very intelligent man, and as a pastor, he seems pretty neutral to me. You may think he's left, but I don't. I just think he's neutral. And I think his base note in his Christian formation is love, which a lot of you seem to have forgotten. But anyway, let's get back to me. For the last nearly 8 years, I have tried to attain your support for the adaptive reuse of 2 beautiful churches. I gave up a 6-figure income doing real estate in New York to do this. I'm $200,000 in debt to do this. Now, that was my choice, because I did have some kind of hope, or maybe an expectation, that there would be support to save these historic, beautiful buildings and give them a chance at a resurrection, a new lease of life. Maybe not in the form they were before, but a new form where they celebrate people, all religion, all color, all races, anyone, everyone. Because really, that is what religion is meant to be, isn't it? Wasn't Jesus about love? He didn't die for your sins. He got killed by the Romans. Why does that remind me of Republicans right now? So, I'm struggling. I'm at the end of my rope with being an activist for the Democratic Party, who has never, ever supported me. They've never supported my projects. They've never even shared my posts regarding my churches. Now, as the religious community receives over 80 billion in tax exemptions a year, let me ask you this. What do they actually do? What do they put back into the communities? What do they do about refugees? What do they do about immigrants? What do they do about the homeless? What do they do about suicide? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They don't do anything. And that's the problem with these non-profit entities in America that really should be investigated by the IRS. Because there's a reason for separation of church and state, which of course Republicans have abused over the last, 7 years or even longer. And the reason they have done that is because they don't have a platform. They are not conservative. They're in the pockets of billionaires, oligarchs, fossil fuel. That's all they are. They can peddle their disinformation and bullshit all they want. But the fact is, they do nothing. They have nothing. They give nothing. Only tax breaks to billionaires. That's all this fight is about. It is not about Joe Biden. It's not about Democrats. It's about billionaires. It's about corporations. It's about tax breaks. It's about loopholes. It's about subsidies. It's about power of the people so that you can continue to support their status. Period. They are not pro-life. They are not about family values. They're about money. That's all it is, money. Now, I have 2 leaking church roofs. This was my 8th winter without heating, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. Because I will fight for what I believe in. That was my dream, but no one can live their dream without help from other people. So that's where you come in. Now, you can either donate hundreds of millions of dollars to nasty, hateful people, or you could actually support people like me that are trying to make a difference and change the narrative here and invite people in, everyone. Like everyone. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you do, you know? So, I'm pretty close to about $200,000 in debt, and that's my fault. No, really, it's my fault. Because I believed that there would be people out there that would get behind the projects of trying to give clean energy, modern adaptive reuses to all these buildings that close at an alarming rate in America as Christianity fails, as Gen Z turns against religion because of the political narrative by Republicans and their desperation for power. So why don't you get behind and support people like me? I'm not asking for a handout. It would be nice though. But I would rather have business partnerships and try to create something beautiful. But I need you to do that. So let me know if you're interested. You want to go for a walk? I can't, baby. It's raining. Hey. I know it's raining. Look. Oh. Home Depot. Or recycled or replanted.